It's been over the past couple of days, I would say, past 3 or 4 days. It's been kind of a process. It's not something that happens instantly for obvious reasons. It's a hard decision to make, but it's been 3 or 4 days of a lot of thinking and a lot of talking to people in the program and family members about it. So it's been a few days in the making.
Is there one thing that pushed you to this point in terms
Um,
of this decision to not play anymore?
No, there's not one thing. There's many things. I would say the one thing they all had in common were just physical things. Dealing with my body and something I've dealt with pretty much my whole career is injuries and kind of fighting through that stuff. And so I would say for physical reasons. Is the main reason that it kind of forced me to start thinking about this stuff.
Was it the knee that was the final straw? Or did you come back from that how you wanted to, or is it just everything put together?
There's a lot of things. Obviously my knee's been an issue since I hurt it last season against Illinois. But there's a couple other things going on, and won't get into any specifics about that stuff. But it's kind of just a culmination of things I've been dealing with for a couple of years now. So.
When you finally made that decision, how tough was it to tell Coach Chris and the rest of your teammates?
Yeah, it's hard. This program's really been a big part of my life. For going on 5 years now. Something I deeply care about, and you earn the respect of your teammates because of how hard you work and the time you put in here. So telling them that would no longer be playing anymore, it was difficult for me, but. What made that easy is, I made it clear that I'm going to remain a big part of the program. My role is just going to shift from playing to helping out in other ways, kind of what I did in the spring. So that made the transition a lot easier for me, just, especially letting the O-line know that, I'm not going to kind of fade away from that group. I'm going to be a big part of what they do. I'm going to be around them as much as I can, and I think they really respected that, and I made sure that was kind of my main point to them. So.
How much do you think you can help this group, this offensive line group, and the young guys?
Yeah, I feel like I have a lot to offer. The way football is played nowadays and what defenses are running, the mental side of it is such a big part, and just having an extra set of eyes at practice, at games, I feel is a huge asset to the group. And I've started quite a few games, so I feel like I have a lot to offer experience-wise, and I feel like I can continue to help these guys grow and just teach them kind of what I know and what I've experienced, and just kind of continue that path. So.
What's probably the most important lesson or message you can give them, especially a guy like Dieter, who filled in for you last year down the stretch, but now is going to be the most experienced player on that unit?
Yeah, I think for Dieter, kind of leadership is the main thing that comes to mind. He's kind of taken over the center role, and he's kind of growing into one of the most experienced guys, one of our best players, and kind of that next step is to be that leader, be the guy, that consistent player, guys who can rally around him and be vocal and stuff like that. So for him, that's kind of the next step that I see him taking. Something that I was planning on doing this year, kind of being the leader of that group. But while I still plan on being a leader of this team, I'm not going to be out there during practice, during games. So somebody's got to step up and become that vocal leader. And I think he could definitely do that. So.
Did you have an idea this might happen when you said, "Hey, move Michael to center"? Did you have an idea, maybe this in the back of your head, that you maybe calling it quits at that point, or not?
Not really, no. I had obviously at that point kind of overcame my knee injury, and I kind of made the decision from that point on that I was gonna, train all summer and give it everything I had, and come out and start in fall camp and just see how everything felt. So my mindset all summer was that I was gonna play, and the season was gonna kind of go as planned, and unfortunately that wasn't the situation, and this is how I've kind of reacted to it. But my mentality throughout this whole off season has been that I would play this year.
Dan, is it fair to say that you've lost confidence in your body?
Yeah, I mean, anytime anytime you kind of deal with an injury, you know, even a small injury, you're going to lose a little bit of confidence. And the key to that is being able to get the confidence back. You know, and that's a big part of the rehab process for any injury is getting back on the field and feeling comfortable playing football, knowing that, you know, in the past, like you hurt yourself. So that's something that, you know, I've dealt with. You know, having a couple major injuries, kind of the mental side of it's a big part of it too. And playing football while having those thoughts in your head is not a good thing. It's such a physical game, and when you're not there mentally, you're really putting yourself in a bad position to get hurt again, and you're putting your teammates in a bad position also. So yeah, I would say.
So you're working on your master's now, correct?
Yep.
How close are you? How far away?
I have 3 more semesters, so you know, I'm going to be here for another 1.5 years, which I'm very happy about. But you know, continue my education and continue to be a part of this program for, you know, the next 2 seasons is something that's super exciting to me.
How much? I'm just curious if there was a factor at all in your decision was when you read more stories about guys who are later in life who play football, who always talk about, I just want to be able to play with my kids, walk normally. Did that factor into it at all?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that's something not many college football players probably think about, which is a good thing. But when you are at the point when you start thinking about life after football, your long-term health, that's when you really have to kind of take a step back and say, is this the best decision for my body? And you know, it's a selfish decision, but rightfully so. You know, you have to make the best decision for yourself in the end, especially when it comes to your physical health, because that's something that sticks with you for the rest of your life. So that's definitely something that I thought about a lot making this decision is, you know, I'm 22 years old and I have a lot of life to live, and look forward to just being healthy and having a productive life after football.
Did you turn to anyone in particular to use them as a sounding board to get advice through this process?
Various people throughout the program. I won't name anybody specifically, but I've talked to many people, you know, players, coaches alike, that have given me great perspective on this whole situation, and I'm really thankful for that.